I've had a pretty slow leak coming from my rear hub. So today, I'm going to show you how to replace the hub seal, and while we're in there, I'll also go over how to replace the wheel bearings as well. For the supplies needed, the main tools are a torque wrench along with this specialty socket for the hub nut. I'll have an Amazon link to it down below. You'll also need some brake cleaner, blue Loctite, and gear oil for cleaning and refilling the hub. The rest of the tools are basic sockets and a few other things most people have laying around. Starting off, let's jack the truck up and remove the wheel. Then take off the drum. Next is the axle shaft. Have a bucket on hand to catch any oil that comes out. Removing it will take a bit of persuasion. A few light taps around the shaft will break it loose. But before it comes out, slide the bucket underneath. To keep the shaft clean, I put it into some trash bags immediately and moved it to the side. Now for the axle nut. This is where things can get tricky. Depending on what side you're doing, the nut will loosen in different directions. On the passenger side, it comes off like a standard nut. However, on the driver's side, it's reverse threads. They're even labeled left and right, which is something to keep in mind. If for whatever reason this ratcheting nut comes apart, you'll have to buy a brand new one. Now for the hub. I like to throw some shop towels in there beforehand, not to stop the oil, but to catch the outer bearing. Removing the hub isn't too hard normally, but it will come flying off with little to no warning, so this just lowers the chance of the bearing falling out. Of course, this is only important if you're reusing the bearings, which I am. So at this point, the outer bearing can go into a bag. Sometimes, part of the rear seal will get stuck on the spindle. It's not a big deal, I just pried it off. Carefully, of course, since you don't want to scratch the spindle. There is a bit of rust on here, but none of it is passing the sealing surface, which is a good sign, but I will sand it down before reassembly. Moving to the back of the hub, you'll see the failing seal. Before removing it, take note of this ring. It's a little hard to see, but that is the oil slinger. Avoid bending it when removing the seal. I was able to use a pry bar and a seal remover to get the old one out. Again, since this is a sealing surface, try not to scratch it. The oil slinger and inner bearing can now be bagged. With the hub open, we can inspect the internals, starting with the races. We're looking for any marring, deep grooves, or possibly rust. This truck has 150,000 miles on it, but so far, these races look good. There are some witness marks visible, but that's considered normal wear. It doesn't really affect the bearings. To check the bearing itself, I want to remove as much of this old oil as possible. That's where some brake cleaner comes in handy. With most of the oil out, I was able to feel for any roughness. It's showing similar signs of wear to the races, but these bearings still have life to them. Whether that be 10,000 or 50,000 miles is unknown, but both the inner and outer felt fine. As for the spindle itself, first we'll remove any grime that's built up over the years. For the rust, I started with 5000 Grit Sandpaper using PB Blaster as a lubricant. But this rust is a bit aggressive for 5000, so I switched to 800 instead. When doing this, evenly sand the spindle. Don't spend a bunch of time in one area. It doesn't have to be perfect, as where the seal rides is actually okay. There shouldn't be any rust. If there is some pitting there, a repair sleeve might need to be installed. There is some grooving where the outer bearing rides, which is not a good sign. 3 of my 4 spindles all have this problem, so at some point, I'll have to replace them. Now let's prep the hub. I did the same process to it where the outside of the seal rides, but this time just with the 5000 grit. As for the bolts, they have Loctite on them from the factory, so we'll use a chaser to clean both the bolts and the hub threads. This will ensure that the torque values are accurate. It might not seem important, but it's a huge help. After doing this, you should be able to thread all the bolts in by hand. With that done, we can clean all of that junk out of the hub. The rags I used earlier leave behind lint, which can interfere with the bearings over time. While that dries, we can prep the seal and bearings. The Ford manual actually calls for wheel bearing grease here. However, grease doesn't dissolve in oil, so I'm using oil again, but the choice is yours. When I'm doing this, I'm looking for the rattling sound to stop when I spin it. You can still hear it a little bit, but as long as the bearing is not completely dry, that's fine. With both of them lubricated, I'm going to start reassembling the hub. First, add a coating of gear oil to both of the races. Then add the inner bearing. That is the bigger one of the two. Then put the oil slinger back on top. There's notches on it that should go down into the bearing. After that, it's time for the seal. There's a few different types of seals. This is a Scott's Pro Seal. You can push this one in by hand. Per SKF instructions, this seal has to be lubricated on both the inside and outside diameter. I used a 2x4 to push it in, along with a few mallet blows. Just to be safe, I added some more oil to the inner lip. Now let the seal settle for 5 minutes. In that time, we can prep the spindle. Just make sure there's no debris on it, and add oil all the way around. This will help the seal slide on easily. After the 5 minutes are up, we can add about an ounce of oil to the back area of the hub. Then slide it on. Once it's on, we can add the outer bearing. And finally, let's add the ratcheting nut. There is a keyway that has to be lined up as it goes in. The specs for this are all over the place, so I recommend doing your own research. But I rotated the hub and tightened the nut to 65 foot-pounds as per Ford's instructions. Then I backed the ratcheting nut off 8 clicks. But when I spun it, I was getting a scraping sound. I didn't record it, but I took the hub off again and found a nick in the spindle. It was small enough that I polished it out with 5000 grit. After that, it rotated without any problems. Now for the axle shaft. This should still have oil on it from when it was removed, but to be sure, I put a light coating on the splines and shaft. Before it goes in, inspect the O-ring and replace it if needed. From what I read, that's a pretty rare scenario. If it's good, put some oil on it and send it home. I use the bolts as a guide to line it up. It should go in by hand, just to watch your fingers. After that, the rest of the bolts can be added, but don't torque them or add any Loctite yet. The truck has to be down on its own weight before that can be done. Now we can remove each bolt and add Loctite to all 8 before torquing them down in a crisscross pattern. The spec I used for this was 75 to 85 foot-pounds. Don't forget to torque the lug nuts as well. Then raise the opposite side into the air. This will gravity fill the hub with oil. I left it like this for about 10 to 15 minutes. Once I put the truck back down, I filled the differential to make up for any of the oil that spilled out. It's also not a bad idea to check the diff vent tube. This could be the cause of the leak in the first place. Mine ended up being clear, but it doesn't hurt to check. With that back in place, it's time to test it out. These axles will send oil through the tube and into the hub as it's driven, but that can take some time, so drive it slow for a while and listen for any odd noises. After a few miles, you can recheck the diff and top it off if needed. So that is how you replace the seal and wheel bearings on a 10.25 axle. Hopefully this video helped you out. If you want to see me do some other repairs, you can click this video right here.